Yes. Things have got to change. It has got to be rearranged. That's our theme for the last few shows. And I want to welcome you today to www.celebratelife.me. Beaming to you online at reggae2reggae.com. The best in Jamaican radio and TV, showcasing everything in Jamaica that's wonderful. And so we invite you to come along and celebrate life with me as I bring to you all the good things of Jamaica, the greatest music, the greatest lifestyles, the greatest products, and of course, the greatest people. Because we know that every Jamaican is a jam icon. A jam icon spelled JAMICON. And every one of us is a star. So if you want to become a star, come on down to Jamaica. Embrace our lifestyle. Be like we are. Or we're like we're wanting to become. But everybody must have a goal. And today we're talking about the 4 rules of Celebrate Life.me. And those are the 4 rules of how you can come journey along with us and celebrate your life every moment of every day. So let's go through the 4 rules. And after we've gone through the 4 rules, then I'll do a little synopsis of the rules that I looked at yesterday. And then tomorrow, we're going to do rule number 3. But today, we're going to do rule number 2. And you'll have a chance to really journey along with us on this bus. So, the bus of life, the journey of life. So, the 4 rules first. Rule number 1, know where you're going. You must know your destination. In order to know your destination, you have to write down your goals, your aspirations, but more importantly, your dreams and your visions. So remember rule number 1, know where you're going. Rule number 2 says you have to know the driver. Because if the driver is the one who is piloting the vehicle that is taking us to our destination, you better know who the driver is and his characteristics, his capabilities, etc., etc., etc. But let's move on to rule number 3. Rule number 3 says, rule number 3 says, it's going to lead to rule number 4 because it just slipped me right away. But let me do rule number 4. Rule number 4 is enjoy the ride. Celebrate every moment of every day. But backing up, How could I forget rule number 3? It's the most important one because it's the only one that I have to do by myself, for myself. It's the only rule that you have to do for yourself. It has to do with your choices and your decisions. It says, pay as you enter. Everything we're going to be involved in requires our contribution. It requires that we have a stake in this thing. It requires that we make some contribution so that we know that we are involved. You know, yesterday we were talking about an issue, a serious issue that is happening in our country. And I was trying to decide, should I get involved in this issue? And I thought about it and I thought about it. And then somebody said to me, this is a very dangerous issue, you know. You could die because these stakes are so high that the persons who want to get in on it will kill you. And I thought about it and I said, you know, anything I'm getting involved in, I have to be willing to die for it. And I'm not willing to die for that. So guess what? Put it in 513. And this is how we have to approach the issues that we are going to be involved in. We must recognize that if you are going to be involved in something, you've got to pay your dues. You have got to make your contribution. So pay as you enter is the third one. So let's go through them again, straight through, so that we have them in sequence. 1, know where you're going. 2, know the driver. 3, pay as you enter. And 4, celebrate the ride every moment of every day. So we did rule number 1 yesterday, and I'm sure you all appreciate how wonderful rule number 1 is. Because when you know where you're going, your direction is set, your attitude and your focus is in place to determine your altitude as you rise to every occasion that faces you. So, enough of the précis and the synopsis. We are now going to go straight into rule number 2, and that is know your driver. You must know your driver. We all know that when you have a bad driver, you ever go in a taxi, and the driver is driving so bad. Sometimes it's a bus. You wonder how you reach a destination. And sometimes you don't reach a destination because the bus broke down in transit. Or it take a shortcut and bypass your stop where you're supposed to come off. We know how it is with the transportation system in this country. You're taken on a scenic sight viewing when you really want to go straight to your destination. So knowing your driver is very important. Remember, I'm a co-pilot, but a pilot is your creator. And that creator is the ultimate one. First of all, he created us with a purpose. He looked way down into time to 2030. And he says, I need to have a station called Reggae to stimulate and motivate those young icons to do their best on every occasion. And so I'm going to bring into being reggae2reggae.com. But that was not at the time when the need arose. That was way back before the need arose that this plan was made. And so I'm going to share with you the plan for everything that was created. For the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and us wonderful human beings who are the masterpiece of the Creator's genius. So let us operate as that masterpiece because we have everything that we need for a wonderful life and for operating the way our Creator has planned for us to operate. How do we know that? Because he said, when I created you as the solution to a challenge or the solution to a problem. And so we need to understand that everything that we are, everything that we have, has been specifically placed exactly as it has been placed. All our so called faults and peculiarities have been put in us so that we can carry out that perfect plan that has been made for us before the foundation of the earth. So, where did I get this from? His operations manual. You know that anytime something is created, the creator has got to have an operations manual. Have you ever heard of a piece of equipment, and one as complex as we are, that can operate without a manual? Absolutely impossible. And only the Creator knows every bolt and screw, every nut and nail, every dowel, every part, how it was put together, how to fix it when it is broken, how to make it run as a well-oiled machine. The creator of anything is the only person who really knows the intricacies. And so you have to go along with his plan. And what did he say? When you open the operations manual and you say purpose, you look down the contents and you say purpose. All right, turn to that page. And when I reach to Jeremiah 29:11, it says, I know the plans I have for you. There are plans to hurt you or to harm you in any way. They are plans to give you a hope, something to look forward to, and a future, an expected end. That means that there is an end that he was aware of before he produced this particular machine, piece of equipment, soul, and spirit. And he did it specifically to solve that problem. And so we don't want to go around and say, Lord, I'm too short, my foot too big, my nose too broad. Why are you going to complain about what the Creator has done specifically to solve a problem? Because anyhow you change any of it, you can enhance it, but anyhow you change any of it, it's not going to be able to do what it was prepared to do. So you need to accept it, that this plan is a perfect plan. And also, you have to accept that the plan, it says so in the book, is to make you prosperous and successful. Prosperous and successful. So, if you know, like you know, like you know, like I know, that my plan is always to prosper me, then I can just relax, be anxious for nothing. But everything that comes up, I just consult the operations manual. Anytime I want to troubleshoot, I just consult the operations manual. And every situation that I need to get any light on, any illumination, same thing. But I want to see clearly how to go through the situation. That's the answer. Open the operations manual. Look for troubleshooting and say, well, I have a problem here with this relationship. This your husband not acting right. And he'll just tell you, turn to H. And you look for husband and he will tell you what to do. But usually when you have a problem, with the husband. Him send you to page W. So you look for wife and know how the wife's supposed to be operating. So remember, one of the things I have learned about using this operation manual, you must always look to find out what you can fix. Because you are the one reading the manual. If you look what the other problem need to fix, how's it going to help you? Got a problem not reading the manual. You are the one reading the manual. And the good thing about this manual, it shows you how you and you alone, along with the creator and the information that the creator gives you, it shows you how you and you alone can fix every problem. Because let's face it, if it is a problem of repairing a part that you don't even use, you don't even know it is there, and you go into the manual and you look and see what is the problem, how to troubleshoot, how to reverse it, you don't need the other person. You don't need the other part. Because the creator has put everything there. So let's go through the plan that he has, or the characteristics of that plan. The plan says, I have a plan. God was excited. There's another part of the book that says, it's in a part that says Zephaniah 3:17, and it says, when God think about his plan, and he looked down and saw the plan in action, you know what it said? He didn't go public. That's right. He did a cartwheel, or he did a flick over, or what we call in Jamaica, a boom flick, because he was so excited when he saw his creation operating the way he intended it to be. And that is why we can celebrate life every moment of every day. So when we're out of work and we do the wrong thing, we just start to a roundabout turn and say, guess what? I'm on the wrong road here. I am traveling along the wrong road. What I need to do is find out from the operations manual where I got off track and just turn back around and go back on track. It's as simple as that. You don't need no big wailing and bawling and beating up on yourself and saying, woe is me, I am only a worm. Not necessary. You are not a worm. When you recognize that you are a masterpiece, you are wonderfully made, why would you want to look at God's wonderful creation and call his masterpiece a worm? I don't have anything against worm, because guess what? Every worm turns out to be something better as they evolve. Look at that big worm that they call a caterpillar. I love caterpillars. They're so nice and smooth, and I like to pat them. But guess what? I much prefer when they have evolved into a butterfly. Then I can watch them and just really enjoy all the colors and the beauty as they take flight and flit around from flower to flower. Ooh, that's what the world turned into. So remember that I don't care where you are now. Your evolution always takes you up, 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 up. And each stage makes you better, more valuable, and more beautiful. Not just for yourself to look at, but for the whole world. Remember, part of our beauty as Jamaicans is that we were made, created to benefit the whole human race. Isn't it wonderful to be a Jamaican? Because I don't think there's any other country who has in its map, and you know what a map is? To show you direction as to where you have to go and find treasure. Right? And our map says, our motto is out of many one. Our pledge talks about everything that we do is towards one end. the benefit of the whole human race, because that is our purpose as a country. And then we have a wonderful anthem that we prayed yesterday on the show. It is there to give us direction. Recognizing your great creator, the eternal Father, who just wants to bless us every step we take, to guard us, to keep us free from all the evil powers. And every day we need to say that prayer in case any little evil power decide to come in overnight. You can't just go and leave yourself open every day. So I am encouraging you, whether you are a Jamaican at home or abroad, whether you are not a Jamaican or you just flip through the channels and find this station, or you've been popping or logging on and it just popped up. Remember, you can embrace this prayer for yourselves because it works for everybody. Where was I? I was on number 2. Rule number 2 that says you must know your driver. So you see this driver? He is the eternal Father. And he started off being the wonderful counselor. So that's where you get all counsel from. The operations manual. You have to look through it. You have to read it every single day because you can't keep in your brain everything that is in this manual. So you have to just keep reading it so that when the trouble pop up, you just say, yeah man. You go back to that page and say, yeah man, see the solution here. Here is the solution. Or if you bring it in and you read it and you study it and you memorize it, then when the solution comes up, you don't have to go for the manual because you already have committed the solution from the manual to your mind. So remember, we have to understand that we have an everlasting Father. The first one is talking about one of the counselor, and then he is a mighty God. That means that every capability that you need to engage, you can engage by just calling on the mighty God. He has the ability to do everything and to do anything. You want to have that ability available to you? Ask. You have not because you ask not. So if you ask, you shall receive. And I want you to remember the 3 parts of ask. Ask is a word, but ask is also an acronym that says ASK. And it means ask, and when you finish asking, seek, and when you finish seeking, knock, and you knock until the door opens. So if you need to be knocking for 2 days, knock for 2 days. If you need to be knocking for 2 years, knock for 2 years. If it takes 20 years, you just knock for 20 years. But during the 20 years that you're waiting and knocking, you're knowing that the answer is going to come, has to come in the right time of the Master Creator. So, know your driver. I am just a co-pilot, but he is the driver. And he knows exactly where to take us, and he knows exactly what provisions to give us. So I spoke about mighty God. First one was wonderful, counselor, mighty God. Now we go into the everlasting Father. And you know what I like about the everlasting Father? He has all the characteristics of a father and a mother too. Because he has us on his wings. You ever see a male chicken? No, that would be a hen. No, what's that them called? The fowl, the man one, the rooster. You ever see a rooster with chicken on his arm? Absolutely not. God is as a chicken, a hen that has the chicks protected on his arm, on her arm. So while saying all this, I want you to know that God is not a man. God is not a woman. God has the characteristics of an everlasting Father. And He is going to, let me just call it the Creator. My God, the Creator, is going to always protect us, provide for us as an everlasting Father. And then, when He does that, He will give you the ultimate that you need in life. What every single solitary person in life is looking for. It's called shalom. 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 We call it peace in our everyday language, in the English language, but in the original language, it is shalom. And it does not mean the absence of war. It means that everything is in perfect upright order as the Creator intended it to be. There is nothing broken and there's nothing missing. There is perfection in the spirit realm. And that is why I can live with peace all the time, regardless of what is happening around me, because I am embracing that shalom that can only come out of a relationship with the giver of peace, your Creator. And that's what He intended for you when He created you. But you have to go through a process. Everything has a process. Everything has a journey. And the sooner you embrace the end of the journey, while you are at the beginning, the sooner you will experience it in your everyday life. So, as long as I have the one that we're going to do tomorrow, pay as you enter, because nothing is free. You have to make your contribution. You have to make your choice. So, we're still on number 2. Know the driver. Now, let's talk about something else about the driver. Remember what I said about that part that he has in the plan, the operations manual about the plan? The fact that it is a plan to give you success and prosperity. Well, I want you to understand the full meaning of this success and prosperity. Because a lot of people think that prosperity means you have plenty of money. Why so much people have plenty of money and them have more stress than anything else? There are those who have gotten their money illegally. And so they have to stand around with a gun all the time to make sure nobody come and thief it. Right? Those people have plenty money, but they have no peace. And prosperity comes out of peace. Love comes out of peace. Joy comes out of peace. Health comes out of peace. Wealth comes out of peace. Real wealth is the same thing as prosperity. And it don't have to do with money. It has to do with always having more than enough. So remember that you can make that decision as to whether you want to have all these things. And I think that if you don't want to get bent out of shape as to which one comes first, how you must do it, you remember another rule we had, the number one law, the number one requirement that God has for us. It is love the Lord, your God, your Creator, with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And if you do that, then all the others will fall into place. Because we spoke about the hierarchy of relationships in a previous program. And we will be bringing this up in almost every program. And this is it. We have to keep our relationships in the right order. Our first relationship must be with our Creator. So it's you and the Creator and the Creator and you. That's the only way you learn to love yourself and know yourself. You'll know yourself when you look at the Creator, because you see how far you fall short. But when you really come to the place of falling in love with your Creator, then you will start to mirror His image, which He has already put inside of you. But remember, the person that you spend the most time with is the person you're going to sound like, the person you're going to look like, the person you're going to be like. You're going to act like them too. You ever see two people who married for a long time? You know? And then when they just married, one was pink and one was blue. Two different races. By the time them spend 50 years together, you wonder how come these Indians start look like Chinese and the Chinese start look like India. Because they have spent so much time together, they start looking like each other. Take a matter of sounding like each other. In my family, my mother, my sister, myself, and my niece can fool anybody to with each other temporarily. But sometimes I answer my sister's phone and everybody's phone's rattling off. Yes, and I'm saying, this is not Mrs. X. And she says to me, the person on the other end of the line says, sure, yeah. That and what are you doing answering her phone? Anyway, and I'm saying, this is not her, this is her sister. And the same thing happens when I call and her daughter, or I don't know who has answered the phone. And even her housekeeper, she has been with her for so much time that sometimes she answers the phone and I think it's my sister. So anybody you stay around and you listen to them and you talk to them and you interchange things with them, you're going to sound just like them. So there's no way, if you spend a whole heap of time with your Creator, that any expletives will fly out of your mouth because you have not heard any out of this man. And so this is why it is important to spend time with those who you want to become like. So that is why you need to spend very little time with those you don't want to become like. Because they say birds of a feather flock together. That means that those who have like-minded value systems and philosophies usually flock together. And so you have to be very careful about the persons that you spend a lot of time with. I try to spend the maximum amount of time with my Creator because I want to be like my Creator. I want to have those characteristics. I want to exude that personality. I want to be as close as possible. And so I try to spend as much time with my Creator. So remember, we can bring out that image that we were made with, that is within us. That is the first relationship. And the most important, that's why I spend so much time on it. The next one is the relationship you have with your family. And remember, the most important relationship is the one that you have with your spouse. Even within the family, there's a hierarchy. If you are not married, then the most important relationship is with your parents. And I never say parent, parents. So whether you live with them or you are living with a single family, you need to have contact with. And single mothers or single fathers, remember, you need to always big up the other spouse that the child does not live with, or does not interact with, or does not even know. Because guess what? They were at least a wonderful sperm donor, and you would not have had that child without them. This morning I was talking with a friend about um, children of rape and incest. And we were just looking at the fact that children are a blessing. It does not matter how they came. So I want you to remember, don't ever tell your child, you're going to turn out just like your worthless father or any such thing, because that father provided half of the characteristics of that child. And it's only when they are able to affirm the father that they will be able to affirm themselves. So those fathers who have not been affirmed by their fathers have a problem passing on this to their children. So how do you get over that hurdle? You just find a new father. Take the everlasting Father as your Father, and He will always affirm you. Regardless of whether you are a gunman, a criminal, a rapist, an abuser, all of these things are learned behaviors, and you can unlearn them. How do you unlearn them? You unlearn them by getting close to your Heavenly Father, spending time with your Heavenly Father, so that you start to absorb and mirror the characteristics, right, that He has. It's just like His operations manual. You know, it's sometimes called a mirror, the operations manual, because as you look into that manual and you see your real self, you look beyond. It's like the man in the mirror and you see everything that is wrong. You know, sometimes you look in the mirror and you say, whoa, make sure the window closed. Because when all the roads and the valleys and the places that are showing signs of wear and tear face you, you think, oh my goodness. But guess what? There is another mirror right inside of that mirror that shows your physical self, that will show you your spirit. That mirror will show you the way God intended for you to be, because that spirit is His spirit, and you can become that spirit. You can bring out and actualize into the spirit that God has put into you when you are creative, and you can express it in your everyday life. So if you never had a father, or you don't have a good father image, this is my invitation to you. Patch into the everlasting Father and access all that He has for you. That is the Father. It's a long time to spend on that. Anyway, moving on right along. Then, of course, you have the Father, then the children. If it's a family with a marriage, if it's a family that you are not married, you have no children, then it's the parent, then the child. Or the parents, then the children, then your siblings. I must not have a better relationship with my siblings than I have with my parents. My parent must come first, then my siblings. In the married family, or the family that has children, then the spouse or partner must come before the children. I'll talk a little more about that. Moving on, the next area of relationship is your purpose. Why was I created? Why was I created with these capabilities? Why was I created with these visions and dreams, desires, so that I can fulfill the purpose that God has for me? And remember that your capabilities, as in doing a SWOT analysis, is not the most important thing in arriving at your purpose. What is most important is looking at your dreams and your visions, which are impossible for you to carry out with your present capabilities. It was made like that. So that when you decide that you can't carry it out, then your creator comes in to the picture and your all your abilities are increased and he comes and he puts his 90% to your 10% Paul, and then everything will flow the way it was planned. So you must get to the expected end of success and prosperity. Moving right along, we have your purpose. After your purpose, then you have your spiritual family. Those who you have the same philosophy of life with, doesn't matter what religion, but those are the people that you connect with on a spiritual level. You have a connect with someone on a spiritual level, which is not of your economic place, not of your ethnic place. They're just different from you, but there's a connection on the spiritual level. That is your spiritual family. They don't have to have a blood connection, or they may have the blood connection through the blood of Jesus, but you don't have any connection outside of the spiritual. They have the same way of life, the same philosophy of life, the same value systems, the same objectives and goals. Those are your spiritual family. So come from the top again. It is God, then family, then purpose, then spiritual family. We're going forward. The next one is your community, your physical community right around you, your neighborhood, and spreading out like this. You know why I'm giving you all of this? Because it is the key to how you must operate and carry out your purpose, which is the Great Commission. Go into all the world. But you can't go decide, so you're born, you grow right here. So, and when it's time to go into all the world, you take a ship or a plane and go all the way to the other side of the earth to carry out your purpose. Will never work. You have to start in your relationship with your Creator, then your relationship with yourself, then your relationship with your family, then your relationship with your purpose. Am I lining up myself in terms of what I'm doing as a job, in terms of what I'm doing as in my studies, in terms of what I'm engaging my time in? I talk a little bit more about my journey because it is a peculiar journey, but it has brought me here to the place where I'm able to now relate to so many different persons from so many walks of life and so many occupations and characteristics, all because of that journey. So, number 4 was your community. What was that number 5? Number 5, your community. You got to learn to relate to those here, those in the next circle, those in the next circle, those in the next circle. We are at circle number 5, which is the neighborhood around you. Have you lived in a neighborhood and you don't know who live next door? Because they drive out before dawn and they come back after dark? Not good. We need to, in one way or the other, interact and relate to those physically around us. And that is what I love about Get a Life. Everybody come out on the stoop. Everybody come out in the road. The road is the veranda. The road is the meeting place. The road is where everybody congregates. It's just wonderful. And so we need to not be locked up in our houses where we only see a car driving and driving and say, oh, see Mrs. X there, see Mrs. Y there, she come and she go. You don't even know what she look like. So we need to interact with our physical neighborhood. And then after that, we need to contribute to our nation because we are put here as Jamaicans because we were specifically made to live in this country. And as we all come together, we will contribute to the destiny that was written down for this wonderful paradise. And if I don't make my contribution, guess what? I am the only one who is not going to benefit. Because if I don't make my contribution, the contribution is going to be made by not somebody else, but the rocks are going to make that contribution. So I don't want no rock to make my contribution. I mean, if it was going to pass on to another human being, I wouldn't mind. But I don't want any rock doing my part because I have whatever I need and I can do everything once I pull on the resources that have been made available to me by my Creator. So we are down to nation. And let me tell you something, you don't have to be on a national committee to make a contribution to the nation. You can go through your anthem and your pledge and every day try to put into practice one phrase after another. And to tell you about my special band here. I eat in it, I sleep in it, I bathe in it, I work in it, I go to the beach in it, and it says, I promise. I promise. And this was distributed by Dr. John Keane. And I told you I'm going to have him on the show one day, right? And it says, I promise on the front and on the back. Dun, 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 dun. There is the Jamaican flag, which is on a lot of things that are not Jamaican. And there is the words that say, I stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace. Right? So we're going to tell you how you can get one of these, but more importantly, how you can get the book, which is just fantastic. It breaks down how we can practice every single concept in our national pledge so that Jamaica may, under God, prosper, just proliferate in his abundance for the benefit of the whole human race. But you can't benefit somebody else before you benefit yourself, you know. You've got to benefit yourself before you can benefit others. Consequently, it's so important to catch into this movement of Jamaicans who are who have promised, who have made a commitment to carrying out the concepts in this pledge for the benefit of our individual selves and our collective selves. So we are down to nation, and of course, we have a responsibility to the world because everything we do affects the whole world. Because have you ever wondered how you make the news? You make the news by each individual making a decision to operate in a collective way or in an individual way. You remember that man who walked around the world with that cross? You remember that guy who cycled around the world? He came to Jamaica, you know. So did the guy with the cross. He came to Jamaica. And those people had a passion and a vision, and they would not let it go. They just sit down upon it. And they just pushed through. Most visions take a long time. But you gotta pay as you enter. Put in your jewels at the beginning, and at the end you will have lots and lots of books to write about your journey. But you can't have them at the end when you didn't start at the beginning, right? So that's our contribution to the world. So those are our relationships that we have to keep in mind. God, yourself with yourself. Then your family, if you're married, with your spouse. If you're not married, with your parents. I mean, if your child is still living under their roof. Then your siblings. So it's husband and wife before children. It is parents before siblings or brothers and sisters. Then after that, you have your purpose. What was I created for? Got to get going and get it done. Move into it. Then after that, it will be your neighborhood. No, your spiritual family comes before your neighborhood. Your spiritual family, then your neighborhood, then your nation, then your world. So that's it. And we've been mentioning this over and over as we go along. Because let me tell you one principle about this hierarchy. If you move anyone out of its position, you have dysfunctionality in all of them. You know, those persons who are involved, let's say they're involved in nation building, and they put the nation before their families. All of them have bad relationships with the families and everything else, because you must keep it in the right priority. My housekeeper called me this morning. She said, "Oh, Dr. John, I can't come today. I'm so sorry. My child got bitten by something in the night and I had to take him to the clinic." I said, "Why are you sorry? Excuse me, your child comes before your job, and I don't care what responsibilities you have here. Your greater responsibility is to your child. So take him to the clinic. If you get through in time to come, come. If you don't get through in time to come, don't come. See you tomorrow." And we need to understand that if you are in the top place in the government or you are in the top place in the church, your family must come before those other responsibilities. Because if you put those responsibilities first, it means that every relationship in the whole hierarchy becomes dysfunctional, because that is not the way your creator meant it to be. Moving back to rule number 2, you must know your driver. So I've been telling you all of this to tell you that your driver is there to direct all of these activities so that they stay in the right place and so that you can have the ultimate objective, which is peace, shalom, everything in perfect, upright order. Nothing missing, nothing broken. That's your objective. But that does not mean that that is your experience. But you need to understand that when you have the right objective, you will be able to bring your experience in line with your objective. How? Look at the operations manual, because every detail of every possible activity or event that you could face is there in detail. How it can happen, how you should walk through it, and how you should correct it if it got bad already. So it is not just prescriptive, means a prescription on how you should do it, but it is redemptive in that it has the rules and the regulations of how you are to bring it back into its right place if it has gone wrong. I will know what you go today, right? Why tell you the truth, you know? You see me? I search for all the prescriptions because I don't like get sick. I prefer to be a preventative person. But every now and then I get sick. And when I do, I know how to redeem the situation. And I'm talking sick in the spirit realm, in the psychological realm, and in the spiritual realm. So the issue is this, that everything you need is in this operations manual. It is just so fabulous. Can you think about that? It is like a encyclopedia, a prescription, and everything. I'm telling you, there is nothing you cannot find that you need in this manual. And so it's sort of long, but guess what? I found the shortest way to do it. I always like to find the shortcuts. The shortcuts that don't leave out anything. Because I don't want to take no shortcut that leave out anything, for one, or a shortcut that is going to put me in danger. That's the problem with most shortcuts. But this shortcut is to listen to the manual and all its instructions Listen to the manual and all its instructions by getting 2 MP3s, which you can order from www.celebratelife.me. And then you will have it playing 24/7. It takes 4 days to play the 2 MP3s. So every 4 days, I listen to the whole operations manual right through the night so that it is going into my mind. And so that when I need to pull up some instructions on something, it's right there. I encourage you to do this. So as we close off, I want you to be aware of the capabilities, the character, the love, and the intent of your everlasting Father. Because you must know your driver. He is everything. He can do anything. He has the solution for everything. And so I'm going to encourage you to get into that operational manual. Read up on all the issues. Because if you want to see any dysfunctionality in life, it is all there right in the manual. Every rape and how to get over it, every case of insects, those are there too in the planes. But incest, it is there, and how to deal with it. Every case of every kind of sexual dysfunction, it is there, and how to deal with it. Every case of economics, every case of agriculture, every case of medicine, you name it. It is all there. So get to the program, man, because the most important thing it has in it is how to operate in your plan for your life and celebrate every moment of the journey. So until next time, I'm going to have some other things that I want to tell you at the end of this program. But we're closing off this section on going through the 4 rules of the successful game. They are: 1, know where you're going. 2, know the driver. 3, pay as you enter. 4, celebrate every moment on the ride. Now, what do we have coming up? You know, the other day, I forgot to tell you about our live broadcast of our Culinary Academy. On the 22nd, we had our monthly Culinary Academy. It was a 3-hour class where we did all the things that you need to know, and we tasted all of them and ate all of them until our bellies were full. We did breakfast, lunch, dinner, non-dairy milk, shake. What did we do? We did ackee puree. We did, fattoush, our own Jamaican fattoush, which is a Lebanese dish which I sort of Jamaicanized. We had chocolate shake. I don't remember all of them, but it was the first 15 minutes was transmitted live, and you can just go onto our site, reggae2reggae.com. Scroll down until you see Culinary Academy, Celebrate Life, Dr. Sherry Chum, and just click on it, and you will see all the programs that we have done. Programs on immunology, programs on the cooking class. Oh, it's not a cooking class, it's a food preparation class showing you how you can redeem the bad food and get therapeutic value out of your foods. So we have lots of stuff coming up. And we just wanted to stay tuned to reggae2reggae.com, where we showcase the best of Jamaica, the best music, the best talk, the best training and teaching. Remember the other day we had a show with the video tutor, where you can find out about classes for your children, all sorts of subjects that you can get online. We also have our NFL friend who comes in and does interviews with all those personalities, those sports personalities outside of Jamaica. And so we have a lot lined up for you. But remember, you will only be able to get this on reggae2reggae.com. So log in on your internet. Everybody's asking, what? Where are we on the dial? We are not on the dial yet. We are waiting on permission to go on the dial. But until then, you won't miss anything. Because when you go on the dial, you have to catch it as it is. This show is being done live now. But you can hear it again and again and again.